This is Needy and Normal. I'm your host, Ashley Levering, mom, wife, and life coach. After years of experience and learning from my own life, one thing is clear: meeting your needs is essential for living a better life. No, you're not needy. Having needs is normal, and your needs matter. Welcome back to the Needy and Normal podcast. Welcome for the first time. If you're just arriving, I really appreciate you pushing play. I hope the content, you know all about it if you read the title, speaks to you. And I hope what you take away from this episode is helpful and just what you need. Perhaps at first you'll argue with what I'm going to say because as human beings, this want versus need thing is powerful, and it can drive us directly to or directly away from something that we really want, this battle that we can have in our souls and with ourselves, in our minds. Sometimes and often, self-love is also discipline. Let's be real. I want something versus I need something can often be very different, and it can also be directly related. So let's say there's something you really, really want, but in order to get that thing you really, really want, there are all kinds of things, or maybe one or two things you really, really need to do or not do or accept, but there is always a need kind of living behind the want. So this tough love comes in, this discipline comes in when we're having that battle of, well, I really want that thing, or I really want to do that activity, or, achieve that class, or whatever the goal may be. But then you really do have to have that conversation with yourself, and sometimes with another person for support. Okay, I want this thing. How do I get there? What do I need to do? So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to talk about this battle of, I want this thing, I want to do this thing, but I don't want to do the work. Ooh, I know. I understand, because sometimes when we want to do something, putting in the work means it's uncomfortable or time consuming, or it's just hard. It's just difficult work to do such a thing. And so we have that drawn out procrastination kind of thing when we have a task or something we want to achieve, or something that needs to be done, or something we just really truly want to do. It gets pushed out farther and farther because doing the work, doing the uncomfortable, doing what we need to do doesn't always feel very good. I get it. I really do. There are plenty of mundane and small tasks and things that are on my have-to-do list that I think, well, if I get that done, and then I can get to that thing I want to do, or I want that done. I want my kitchen clean, but the work I have to do to make sure the kitchen is actually clean requires discipline and time, and I don't want to do that. So we really get in our ways with this. I want to do something, but I don't want to do the work. I don't want to give my time to it. I don't want to do it now. It's hard. It's uncomfortable, right? We get whiny. And I will do an extended version of this as far as when we want results, when there's really something we're after. There's a difference between doing the work and being consistent, and doing the work level up so we can actually achieve results. And that can look like any number of things. So I will get to that. But today, this conversation is more going to be about the tough love. And the reality bites, man. You want to do that thing? You're gonna have to do the uncomfortable. You're gonna have to put in the time. You're gonna have to put in the effort. You're going to have to say those things you don't want to say. Okay? So I have this big long list, and a lot of this is collected from my real life experiences, but also from clients I've worked with. So, this is all very real things that we face in the self-love, self-discipline department. And let's see what you can relate to. All right. This is in no order by any means, and I'll give a few examples, but otherwise I'll kind of blow through these because you have you have something that you will connect to, and you'll tell yourself the story and the example that you need to make that connection for yourself. So this is a choose your own adventure in a way. The first example is the need to work harder. We want something. Sometimes we need to work harder. I know, it's a drag, it's effort. Sometimes we feel very lazy or very scared or nervous to put in more effort, thinking that what if I try harder and it doesn't work? I understand all of those negative things we could start telling ourselves, but that's where the self-love turns into discipline. That's where the tough love comes in. Sometimes, whatever the thing is, you've probably already come up with an example in your mind. You need to work harder in order to get to where you want to go or to get the results you're looking for. Ooh, habits. Sometimes you need to stop or change your habits. If you want different results, if you want to get to where you need to go as far as habits go, that's a tough love. That's a discipline. That takes effort. Again, I'm going to extend this into the next episode about what it really takes to kick it up a notch and really put in the work and really put in the effort to get results versus saying, I want to do this thing, maybe one day I'll get there. And instead, it's actually putting in the work, making a plan so you can actually make change. I've said it before. It's my formula. Awareness plus action equals change or growth. So when you're talking about habits, discipline, ooh, you better believe it. All right, here's one. You need to listen. You need to listen. This might not have so much to do with want, unless, for me, I connect it to a relationship with anyone. But if you're going to build that relationship, make it better, make a better connection, understand each other, fix something, conclude something, move on, whatever it may be, sometimes you need to zip it and listen. And I'd like to say this happens in my training a lot. It happened in my training a lot. We learned that listening is much more powerful sometimes than speaking, and you need to listen in order to fully understand something, to really give it the attention it needs to then take the next step. So maybe you're in a position right now where you need to listen. Perhaps you need to confess something or tell the truth about something. This falls in line of do the right thing. Nobody wants to confess or tell the truth if it's icky and uncomfortable and you feel like you're going to hurt somebody or upset someone. You think of catastrophic things when you think, gosh, if I come clean and I say that thing, but maybe you need to do it. Like I said, this goes in line with doing the right thing. Sometimes it feels hard or scary, or you worry what the repercussions could be, but doing the right thing, maybe that's where we're at. Maybe that's what you need to do. I talked about this a couple episodes ago. Sometimes you need to rest, even if you don't want to or you feel like you can't, because life is fast-paced and you're on the go and things have to happen, and sitting down to rest is just not an option. Having that nap, I don't have time for that. Sometimes you need it. And the discipline comes in because you make room for it in your schedule, in your day. You prioritize it and you make it happen because you need it. And if you go back to the very first or second episode, needs are just so. They are not to be argued with. They are just so. Occasionally, even if we don't want it, you might need it. And you don't have to explain it. You don't have to make excuses or feel bad. You just need it. So if you need rest, make it happen. This is especially important when you've hurt yourself, right? If you have a cut or a sprain or a broken bone or whatever it is, like, you don't have a choice. If you want to get moving again and you want to do more things, you need to rest and heal. You need to let it heal. The doctor will tell you that. In order for you to be back on your feet in 2 weeks, blah, 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 you need to ice it, you need to take something, you put your foot up. You need to do it. That is self-discipline. That is self-love. That is giving yourself what you need in order to get to that next part where you get to do what you want to do again, right? Sometimes you need to go through a difficult moment. You don't want to, feels icky, but you can't go around it. So maybe you're in a situation or something's going to come up soon where you really just need to go through it and you can't pretend it's not happening. The way to the other side of really difficult moments is 9 times out of 10 just through. You've probably heard this before. The way through, or the way, past things is through. There's not an easy way to go around certain moments in time and certain moments in your life. You just need to go through it. And it might be painful and it might suck and it might be uncomfortable, but you can handle it. And sometimes it's exactly what we need, because then perhaps there's a lesson there that we needed. There's some kind of confrontation that needed to happen in order for a relationship to be repaired. I mean, choose your own adventure, right? Sometimes we just have to go through the difficult stuff. This goes along with avoiding. Sometimes if things feel hard or scary or nerve-wracking, or you're having those negative thoughts of what could happen, this all puts a little bit of a bow on what I've already been saying, but sometimes you have to stop avoiding things. You need to not avoid. That's where the procrastination comes in. That's not self-love. That's just avoiding inevitable things and wasting time, and there could be more harm done by avoiding whatever that hard thing is. Sometimes we do need to be selfless. It's important. We are called upon all the time. Can you see the opportunities when they arise? And yes, I'm calling it an opportunity to show up for somebody else. Sometimes that is exactly what needs to happen. Sometimes someone else has needs greater than yours in that moment. And it's time to be selfless. I am sure, especially if you're here listening, you can think of a moment in your life where it was not your turn. It wasn't about you. It was about someone else, and they needed you. They needed something more, and they needed it right then, and it was time to be selfless. And that will come up. And what a beautiful thing to be that person, to be able to be selfless and show up for another. Sometimes you need to let things go because they're either tormenting you or tormenting somebody else if you don't. Is it time to put that thing down? To let go of that past? To let go of the anger, to forgive, whatever it is. I had a whole episode on let it go. If it no longer serves you or others, do you need to let it go? That would take some effort. I can understand wanting to avoid such a thing, but sometimes you need to put it down. Sometimes you need to stop. Whether it's pushing a matter or pressuring somebody. It's not helpful anymore. Let it go. Stop ranting. Maybe stop overdoing it. Maybe you need to stop some task that's actually not helpful to you or anyone else anymore. It's just become habit. Maybe it's time to stop the job or the volunteer job you do. Is there something in your life that you need to put the brakes on? Maybe you've been in a tough relationship and you've really been avoiding the hard conversations or the scariest moment of actually saying, I need out. But if it's toxic, if it's not going anywhere, if things are just not working, you might be wasting time and hurting yourself in the process. So maybe you need to call it. Maybe it's time. Maybe this is your sign. This voice, it's okay. Things are gonna be hard sometimes, but that doesn't mean you don't need to do it. It doesn't mean that you can't get to where you want to be by making that hard move. Just because you don't want to have discomfort doesn't mean it's not going to help you in the end. Sometimes you need to have a hard conversation. You need to do what's uncomfortable. I think our go-to is to make things easier for ourselves because it's less comfortable if we make it quote unquote easier, because sometimes the easier way is actually the harder way and the more uncomfortable way. So whether it's ending a relationship or having that conversation or, choosing to do the easier chore, just do it. Take a breath and go. It takes some bravery. Some things are easier said than done, but it doesn't mean you don't need it and it will pay off. It can pay off. Let's review. Do you need to work harder? Do you need to stop a bad habit? Do you need to do some listening? Do you need to do some confessing or truth-telling? Is there the right thing? What's the right thing to do? Do you need to rest? Do you need time to heal? Do you need to go through a difficult moment because there's no way around it? Do you need to stop avoiding the hard things because you're fearful that they're uncomfortable? Do you need to show up for somebody else? Do you need to let something go? Do you need to stop pushing someone else, ranting, tormenting yourself, overthinking? Do you need to stop overthinking? That's a big one. Maybe it's calling it. Maybe it's leaving the job. Maybe it's saying this relationship is over. Do you need to have a hard conversation? You can get to where you want to go. You can do the things you want to do. But this little scoop of reality here is all about the fact that sometimes we have to do hard things. Sometimes we have to do uncomfortable things. The self-love is self-discipline for a reason. Sometimes the best way to take care of yourself is to be a little tough on yourself. And no, you don't have to do it alone. Sometimes it's easier to do the hard things when someone holds your hand, literally, or just has your back, is there for you, to listen, to encourage you. Pick a family member, pick a best friend, pick someone who's a complete outsider who has no personal connection to your world. Oftentimes that's where people are at when they call me up. Hey, at least you have nothing to do with my family members, so when I have to talk about them, it's safe with you, right? Or I can't talk to my coworkers about this job that I want to quit or the promotion that I want to go to, so I'd rather come to a coach. And some things are just hard to do alone. And often that's why we don't do it. Because we think, if I have to do this by myself, I can't do it. I can't go through with it. And we are reluctant and we avoid the uncomfortable, thinking it's easier, but it's not. Whatever you need to do to have more of what you want in your life, to get to that thing you want to do, to achieve that thing you want to achieve, then what do you need to do to get there? And what excuses are you making? Maybe that's what you need to stop. Stop making excuses. And it doesn't mean that you have to go after all the things all at once and do all the hard things all at once. Prioritize. Pick that thing that's really been looming the longest in your mind and figure out what you need to do. Do it one step at a time. And your needs matter because you matter. And your needs matter because it does help you get to where you want to go. When you tend to those needs, I promise it will help you in massive ways. I'll say it again. Your needs matter because you matter. Now go share this episode with somebody who needs a little tough love. Don't do things alone if you don't want to. And also, believe in yourself. If you're worried that you can't do something because you're not sure you have it in you, you do. Go give yourself that tough love. And I'll see you next week. Take care. Thank you for listening to the Needy and Normal podcast. The show is brought to you by ABL Life Coaching. Go check it out at ablifecoaching.com. And also find us on Instagram, Needy and Normal Pod and ABL Life Coaching. Accepting new clients come fall 2025.